We're here at Star Pass just outside of Tucson, and it's a beautiful day, 88 degrees, and wanted to take a walk on the Trail Pass trailhead here, and maybe see what kind of plants we can identify and just enjoy a few minutes outside. Howdy.
How you doing?
Good. You know, the desert really is beautiful in its peculiar way. Too hot for me, but it is beautiful. We're in the Sonoran Desert. The signature saguaro cactuses cover the hillside. They're pretty impressive. They can grow up to 60 feet tall. And during the rainy season, when they're fully hydrated, they can weigh several tons. It's kind of amazing. But we're gonna take a look at some of the plants that we find. This is just a baby saguaro cactus, and I don't think I'd want to rub up against that. That looks like no fun at all. So this tree right behind me is a Palo Verde tree. It's one of those trees that's kind of unique here in the desert. Within, you know, it loses its leaves when it gets dry, gets leaves, you know, when it gets wet, when the rainy season comes. But you can notice here the whole tree is green. And that's because it does photosynthesis year long, whether it has leaves or not. This fun plant, this is jojoba. I know a lot of people have heard of jojoba. The fruit that comes off it is what they make essential oil out of, jojoba oil. And it's great for skincare. You know, acne, sunburn, chapped lips. So this is the jojoba plant. I see one plant off the trail here. We're gonna get off the trail and show you a jumping cholla. This is renowned here in Sonoran Desert. They call it the jumping cholla because people believe that it'll actually jump out and get you with its spines. And that's because the spines are so fine that you really can't even see how far they go. And extremely painful if you get stuck by one. It'll actually detach and attach itself to you. So you have to be careful around the jumping cholla, but here it is. Right behind it is a fishhook barrel cactus. So many of the cactuses here have been used for thousands of years for a food source. When the rainy season comes, they flower and then they bear fruit. And that fruit can be quite delicious and you know, full of nutrients and sugars. The saguaro cactus is one. They actually prize the fruit of the saguaro for this. And so that's just one of the cactuses that they get food from. And of course, everybody knows the prickly pear. The prickly pear cactus has been used for food also for thousands of years. Not only the fruit that it bears, but the actual pear-shaped leaves. Once you peel them, can be roasted and eaten. Now, here's a jojoba plant that still has some fruit on it. And we're coming up on one of my favorites down here in the desert, and that's the Ocotillo plant. This is not a cactus. Let me find my way around so I can show you. This is a succulent, but it's more closely related to the blueberry plant than it is any cactus. You can see, and then up at the top, it gets these really beautiful flowers on it. Yeah. And the natives in this area actually used to cut that flower head off and put it in water overnight, and the water would absorb all the nectar and the flavor and the pollens from it, and it was kind of like their power drink, and they would use that as a nutritious drink. I should mention also the Ocotillo plant they used for a medicinal purpose. They'd make a poultice of it and use it to help heal wounds and take care of those types of injuries. It's not a lot of the plant life that you would see if we were further in the year. It's only February, so it's still really dry. They haven't had a lot of rain yet, and so a lot of the plants that you would see come up after the rain aren't here yet. So we're gonna just continue to see if we find anything else, and maybe we'll drop down to where the stream bed is. Even though it's dry, we might find something different. Oh, here's another Ocotillo. It's got more flower heads on it. A lot of the pioneers would use the Ocotillo to build fences with. And what they found is that if you cut one of these off, one of these long stems, and planted it in the ground, it would actually sprout and grow, and you'd have a living fence. Yeah, let's see if we can wind our way down here to the bottom. So here's the remnants of a saguaro that has died and now just laying here. You can see it's got a skeleton of wood-like structure that surrounds, you know, the cactus and gives it structure. There's a large prickly pear. One of the things you find here in the Tucson area is when that prickly pear blooms and has fruit, you can go into local roadside stands and buy prickly pear jelly, and it's quite good. Yeah, down here along the bottom, you can see the Palo Verde trees, and that there is a mesquite tree right there, much larger than up on the hillside. And these mesquite trees were used not only for fuel, but they get seed pods on them, and when those seed pods are ripe, they would dry those seeds out and make flour. And they would use both the wood and the seeds to smoke meat. A nice, rich, smoky flavor. The leaves of the mesquite tree here. So I've seen several little signs of animal life. You can see right here, something's been scratching here in the gravel. Without a track though, hard to tell, but I'm going to assume it's probably a javelina in the area. Here's another one where something's been scratching under that bush. Yeah, even way out here in the desert, you find litter. Always drives me crazy that people don't pick up after themselves. I think I will find my way back up to the trail here. A little more difficult than it appears, especially wearing dress shoes. Well, I hope you enjoyed our short walk in the Sonoran Desert. If you like these types of videos and learn more about the outdoors, medicinal plants and edible plants, and fishing, hunting, and hiking, please join us and come back to Vandra Outdoors.